Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. Wants for their country. Now we're getting to the philosophical part. Because that's a very deep rabbit hole. We try not to talk about money theory with the government when we talk to them. Know what energy is or even what money is. Because they forgot that I need energy, I need a base load, a stable base load. This is what is causing general energy shortages in Europe. There are many people who have said that Samson Mow's statement that Bitcoin would be worth $1 million is very unlikely now that global macro conditions are getting worse and geopolitical tensions are rising. The CEO of Jan 3rd, on the other hand, says that these same things will drive Bitcoin's price straight to $1 million when the time comes. Mow said that all that is needed for Bitcoin prices to go up a little is a small hole in the system. People all over the world will see this crack as proof that the current money system is not only flawed but also designed to fail. Mow believes that this crack will begin in the US bond market. This market was once thought to be the safest in the world, but it is now showing more signs of instability than a number of other asset classes. Mow paints a very clear picture of what could go wrong if people lose faith in the US government's ability to handle its huge debt. As a result, the banking system falls apart quickly, and everyone tries to figure out how to fix it. Mow talked about the chance that a sovereign would adopt Bitcoin and his prediction that Bitcoin would hit $1 million the other day. There were some interesting parts of this talk. If you want to see more videos like this one, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post alerts. Thanks, and have fun with the movie. We're working with them to help them set up a Bitcoin plan. Because our main point is that we are moving towards a state where Bitcoin is used a lot. That's the last thing to do. But first, there needs to be a change from the paper system to this new one. A lot of countries don't seem to be ready either. Besides that, I think this change will happen very quickly. It's not going to be decades away. Most likely in the next 5 to 10 years. Really? Yes. A lot of places aren't ready for this change because of this. A lot of people will suffer because they aren't ready for that change. Like when money was taken away from people in the past. Look at India in 2016. They stopped using some of their money, like the INR and the INR and the INR. A lot of people died. During this very rough demonetization event, about 12 people died. And it's only taking a few bills out of circulation. But there were lines at the bank. Some were dying from the weather. Some people couldn't pay their medical bills because they still had old bills that the hospital wouldn't take because they were afraid the old bills wouldn't be worth anything. When you apply that to the whole world, though, you find that about 8 billion people still need to join Bitcoin. And we're not ready to do that at all. El Salvador is pretty well ready. They each have their own national pocket. They have some programs for learning. People are being taught in schools. And they have a law about Bitcoin. But some places aren't ready. What we want to do is help with that and get Bitcoin used in some way right now. So they have a few years to move smoothly into Bitcoin as a sidetrack to fiat and be ready for when fiat dies. What we just talked about interests me. We try to get people to adopt Bitcoin by giving them benefits that are in line with Bitcoin. This also fits with digging in general. They don't have the money or the means to build hydroelectric dams, geothermal plants, and other energy-generating facilities if they have extra energy. This is a problem for many growing poor countries around the world. We check to see what they need. They have unused energy or are just throwing away extra energy, so if they need infrastructure like hospitals, airports, roads, or anything else, they could mine Bitcoin and pay for it with Bitcoin. Like there's a water dam in Suriname that has 5 megawatts of energy that hasn't been used or tapped. They're just getting rid of that water well. However, this is true in many places. They have power, but they're not mining with it. We tell them they're not using it for anything. Yes. So why not just mine Bitcoin and help the people of your country? Yes, or give up the Bitcoin. It's okay if you don't believe in Bitcoin. That's the matter. Earn money for the country. You can build a hospital. Sure, you could help poor people by giving them money. This is useful for many things. Not mining Bitcoin is almost like a waste of time. Is there money on the table? Yes, there is real money on the table. That's why we go to the government with it. We find out what they need and what we can do to make sure that the benefits are in line with what they want. It's also possible that they want to get rid of flare gas sites because they have ESG goals. You can mine Bitcoin to do that. In this case, we just try to figure out all the puzzle parts that interest them and go from there. We don't talk about things like the game and how Bitcoin is becoming more and more popular because I think it will scare them. Getting individuals and groups to adopt. Bitcoin is important for creating freedom and making the world more fair. The CEO of Jan 3rd is Canadian, and he or she talks about how the Canadian government went too far during the 2022 Freedom Convoy protests. The government of Justin Trudeau called the Emergencies Act a unique piece of federal law that gave it more power, which it then used to break people's rights. Protesters were physically and forcibly pushed off the protest grounds, and the government made fun of and bullied people who gave money to their cause. Banks also helped by freezing the organizers' personal accounts, which meant they couldn't use banks without court permission. It gets even worse than this, and May worries that when the great fiat Bonzi starts to fall apart, many other governments will act in the same cruel way. They will take all lands and assets in the system and do anything else they can to stop the people from taking control. Here are some more interview clips. To use legal money like El Salvador does, but I believe it's also harder because most countries don't have a president or prime minister who fully understands Bitcoin. But people forget that President Bukele used Bitcoin before he was president. That gives you an edge because the guy gets it. He can go do something if he has the right tools. Many other world leaders don't know much about Bitcoin, but they do know what their country needs. Now we're getting to the philosophical part. Because that's a very deep rabbit hole, we try not to talk about money theory with the government when we talk to them. Also, I don't think most people today really understand money. Not many people know what money or even energy are. And this is why Europe has energy problems all over the place. They forgot that I need energy. They throw things away like nukes, and I need a base load that I can count on. That's right, like in Germany. Great example. So they don't understand either money or energy. I think Bitcoin can help them understand both, but only if we can show them how it works. They will be able to figure out how it works. Let us focus on the idea that you have extra energy and can get money. After some time, they'll figure out that money and energy are now linked because of Bitcoin mining and how the system works. Both. People need to start their own projects like Bitcoin Beach, Bitcoin Lake, and Bitcoin Jungle. These are towns and cities from all over the world, or even this meeting we're having here in Madeira. We also just recently stated that we will be working together with Botiev in Bulgaria. It's a sports team, so they are trying to get people to use Bitcoin there, nearby, among their fans and the people in their neighborhood. All of these things help more people use Bitcoin. One way to move it forward is to work with governments on a top-level, top-down method. So you need to get that footing first. Adoption won't happen if this doesn't happen. At the end of the day, money is people using something as money, whether it's Bitcoin, coins, gold, paper bills, or anything else. That means that everything the government says will not work without real acceptance on the ground. It's really hard for the government to do things. They will try to do something when they want something to happen. But for a number of reasons, it looks like it will never work. Things just don't seem to go their way. From the ground up, everything that is real has to be natural. Yes, I totally agree. You do need to look at things from the top down. You don't support the people if you don't, and rules made at the top can make it harder for people at the bottom to accept. To show this, let's look at Indonesia. It's against the law for them to pay with Bitcoin there. They want to mine though. That way we can work with the government there and see if we can get some Bitcoin mining projects to move forward. Then, to naturally get more miners to sign up, you should probably make it easier for people to pay